Hiya, I'm Sian Hindle from the Creme Patisserie, and today I'm going to cook a fantastic recipe which is a meatloaf, and it's going to be filled with caramelised onions. Okay, to start the recipe, the first thing that you need is a loaf tin that you're actually going to cook the meatloaf in. It's going to be a £2 loaf tin, and mine is quite a long loaf tin, and sometimes they're shorter and fatter, but it makes no difference for the actual recipe. To start off, what then you're going to do is line your loaf pan with Black Forest ham. Now you could use pancetta or you could use prosciutto or serrano ham, but Black Forest, I think it does the job really well. Okay, I've greased my loaf tin with a little bit of oil, and now I've lined it with some of my Black Forest ham, and you can see that I've overhung the edges of the tin, which I'm going to fold over the meat afterwards. Alright? For this recipe you need 1 kilo or 2 pounds of minced beef, and it has to be really good quality minced beef with a very low fat content, about 5%, or steak mince. I think 1 kilo cost me about £5, which is still quite economical when you consider that you're going to get probably 8 slices out of this loaf. So I've got my minced beef in the pan, and to that I'm going to add some seasoning, some salt and pepper. It's important to add seasoning to your meat, and a little bit of salt. You don't want to add too much because obviously you can add it at the end, but a little bit of seasoning is necessary. And to that I'm going to add some breadcrumbs, which I've whisked up earlier, and an egg. And then with my hand I'm going to mix all of this together. Now, this is a great recipe if you've got children and you want to get the children cooking a little bit in the kitchen, because they would absolutely love to do this. Make sure that they wash their hands first though. You add the egg and the breadcrumbs to bind it and to give it a little, to make the mixture go a little bit further. Okay, what I'm going to do now is put half of the meat into the base of my lined loaf tin, and I'm going to press it down really firmly because it's going to make a lovely loaf. Meatloaf is more popular in America, I think, but it's also a great picnic food for in the summer, so it's one to keep on file for you. And then the next thing I'm going to add is some caramelised onions. I haven't shown you this in the recipe because it's simply just lightly and gently frying some onions in a little bit of oil just to get them lovely and soft and caramelised. Again, you don't want to burn them, you just want to make them lovely and soft. Once you have your onions in, the next thing is you add the remainder of the meat and spread it all along the top of the onions. And then when you come to slice it, you're going to get a brilliant layer of caramelised onions right in the centre of that meatloaf. Okay, so you squash it all the way down, like that, and then you simply fold your ham over the top of your meatloaf. Now when we come to turn it out, this is actually going to be the base, so it doesn't really matter if you've got a little gap in the middle. If you've got an extra slice of ham, you can put that on the top, but that's basically all you do. And now you're going to bake this in the oven on a roasting sheet for 40 minutes. I'm just going to make the glaze for my meatloaf now, and that consists of barbecue sauce, sugar and tomato sauce and mustard. So you put 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce in, 2 tablespoons of ketchup in. These have got lots of sugar in them, so that's going to give a lovely caramelised glaze on the top of the meatloaf, and a tablespoon of onions. Mix that together, and then we're going to baste the meatloaf in it when it comes out of the oven. Okay, my meatloaf is cooked now for 40 minutes and it's looking fantastic, and now I'm going to finish it off. So if you go down, I'll show you how to do it. And you see it's cooked there. So what I need to do now is turn it out onto an oiled parchment, or a piece of baking parchment, or a piece of foil. And I turn it upside down, and now I'm going to glaze it. There we go. If you use a non-stick tin, then that's going to come out really easily. And then I'm going to spread it with a little bit of the glaze that I prepared earlier, and brush it all over, and that's going to finish off and give a really lovely sweet and sour and smoky flavour to the finished loaf. And then I'm going to pop that back in the oven for 5 minutes, just so the glaze can caramelise and finish off the meatloaf. There we go. Okay, the meatloaf is out of the oven and now I'm going to cut it and serve it on a plate with a little bit of a salad garnish and usually balsamic vinegar. Okay. So that's how it looks on the plate. And then a little bit of balsamic dressing on the salad. And then that's complete as a light supper or a smart starter. Let us know if you try out our recipes and keep up to date on our blog site www.lacreme.typepad.co.uk. See you soon!